I am Gotham. I am Suicide. And I am disappointed. Well, we are more than 2 trades into the new Batman Rebirth title, and I have to say, I am pretty let down. Before I read Scott Snyder's Batman run in the New 52, I had heard great things about it. Oh, you have to read this, you have to check it out, it's amazing, best Batman since whatever. So I did, and I checked it out, and I started with Volume 3, Death of the Family. It grabbed me because of the art, the Joker holding his face, which is it's equally disgusting and intriguing. So I picked it up, I read it, and I was like, wow, it's got tints of Batman from the past, the really dark stuff, the lighter animated stuff from the 90s series, even though the 90s series does get dark at times, which is part of the reason why it's great. It really embraces a lot of different aspects of the Batman character, but so did this comic book. And I read it, and not only was the story interesting, and the artwork by Greg Capullo was mesmerizing. It flowed, it comes to life off the page, and it's very capturing. And so I started there, and I continued, and before I knew it, I had read all of Scott Snyder's New 52 Batman. Looking forward, I was excited because the first issue of Rebirth by Jeff Johns was fantastic. Scott Snyder had wonderful things to say about Tom King, even though I haven't read anything of his, and I was like, I'm ready for this. And I don't go issue by issue, I wait for the trades, because it's sturdier. I don't like the flimsy individual issues. And I just finished the first 2 volumes, and wow, what a step down. This review will contain spoilers, just so you know. So if you haven't read any of this, come back after you have, watch this review, we can talk about it then. But right off the bat, I noticed, just before Tom King took over, I had tweeted about, man, I wish somebody would really do something interesting with Calendar Man, because I think there's a lot there for maybe a one-off story. It doesn't have to be over the top, it could be a dark, street level simple story, a short one even at that, maybe just a few issues. I think there's a lot you could do there. So Scott Snyder actually tweeted back at me and said, wait until you read this new Rebirth. I was like, ooh, first issue, there he is, as promised, it's Calendar Man. They gave him this weird supernatural aspect, which is kind of interesting. I don't really care about it, unfortunately. I preferred him as a normal killer, just a human being. But they did this really weird, interesting thing where he comes back every season or something like that. And then that doesn't really amount to much. But that's just the intro. And then you get into the I Am Gotham, which starts off with Batman saving a plane, which sounds awesome. You know, Batman's going out saving people, that's the way it should be. So then you get into the actual story, and it's actually pretty interesting. It's full of good ideas that aren't executed very well. The first idea, the idea that these superheroes, like Superman, they actually have powers, come in and they save the plane that Batman's trying to save just before he dies, and it crashes into the lake. And that's where the first issue ends. And I was like, okay, cool, I could get behind this. Let's see where this goes. The idea that there are these 2 Superman-like superheroes. One of them is a girl, so Supergirl-like. They're called Gotham and Gotham Girl. And it's a really intriguing dynamic between these 2 and Batman himself, who does not have superpowers. So I was interested to see where this goes. How is Batman going to react? Is he going to, like he has been known to in the past, get jealous when Superman comes into Gotham to help things? But no, Batman ends up embracing them, and he welcomes them, and he, as he explains later on, he hopes that they can save Gotham in a way that he never could. But, and this is my biggest issue with Tom King's Batman thus far, is that he can save Gotham in that way. He is more super than the superheroes, Gotham and Gotham Girl. It doesn't make sense, because Batman is interesting for a number of reasons, but he is a human. He doesn't have superpowers, he has limits. And Scott Snyder really acknowledges that in his writing. It seemed almost every issue he was back at the Batcave, beat to crap, with Alfred stitching him up, and then he'd go back out there. He can't do the physical feats like Superman or these Gotham characters. But he does. Unbeatable. He's perfect. I'll give you some examples. In the first volume, I Am Gotham, the first issue ends with, like I said, the airplane scene. Batman was going to save this airplane, but just so you know, Gotham and Gotham Girl don't come in and save the plane. They save Batman's life ultimately, but he was going to save this plane on his own at the risk of his own life. So you had the airplane that Batman was saving. And then the very next issue opens with Gotham and Gotham Girl fighting Solomon Grundy at the Statue of Liberty. They're having some trouble, though. He's beating the crap out of them. And then a puff of smoke arises, and there's Batman, who comes in and, look at, literally lifts Solomon Grundy up into the air with one arm, slams him into the ground, and then that's the end of the fight. And then a little bit later, like there always seems to be a bridge collapsing in Gotham, Gotham and Gotham Girl are struggling to put this bridge together. Gotham even says at one point, as he's trying to hold the bridge, I can't hold it, or it's too much. And Gotham Girl goes, wait, but he's coming. And then off in the distance, Batman's coming. And he saved the bridge from collapsing. Airplane flies in, he uses some magnetic strips or whatever, some superhero rich boy stuff, and saves the bridge from collapsing. Thus, once again, topping the superpowered superheroes who have come to save Gotham. And so Volume 2, that's this one, opens up with Batman is going to Santa Prisca, the prison. He's going to confront Bane. But he gets there, he confronts Bane, who is now off Venom. And guess what? He breaks Batman's back again. So on top of repeating a classic story point, you have Batman gets thrown into this dungeon that's full of water, and he climbs out of it with a broken back. So he continues, and he takes on multiple waves of armed soldiers, prison guards, whatever they are. Look at, it's no exaggeration. He does this multiple times throughout this volume. He just takes down single-handedly armies with guns. Then he gets to Bane, beats the crap out of Bane. Why he didn't do that the first time, I don't know. With a broken back. And then he escapes, and then the rest of the story focuses on Batman and Catwoman. So you have Batman accomplishing superhuman feats, and it completely defeats the purpose of Batman. You get rid of his complications, you get rid of his bravery. If he can do anything, then he is not brave. He is just doing something else. He is not trying to be more than he is. He just is super. And that's not who Batman is. It's almost like Tom King loves or has this idea of Batman in his head as the perfect person. There are no stakes. If your character can get through anything that comes his way, then there's no risk and no stakes, and therefore there's no interest. And my other big problem about these series is that it jumps around a lot. The first one, like I said, ends with the plane, with Gotham and Gotham Girl lifting the plane up and Batman kind of just standing there and them introducing themselves. And the next issue opens with that confrontation with Solomon Grundy. They're just fighting Solomon Grundy. There's no context for how they got there or why this is happening. It just is. And Batman doesn't even take him to prison. He just lets this unconscious Solomon Grundy lay around. And the wit between Batman and Commissioner Gordon is not there. It gets really bad later on in the first volume, where Gotham and Gotham Girl go to investigate this explosion after the bridge, and it ends with them confronting Hugo Strange and Psycho Pirate, who have blown up this place and killed tons of military men, and that's where it ends. It ends with them just staring each other down. The next issue opens up with Batman on the crime scene already investigating these dead bodies. Again, no context for how he got there, why he found out about this, what he's doing. And then you flip the page, and Gotham, the superhero Gotham, is harassing this guy, the suicide bomber. And again, no context for how he got there, what's going on. It just goes from that scene of the blow up to where Gotham was to him just being out in the street. And then Batman adds up the numbers on all the dead bodies. And then Batman takes the dog tags from all the dead soldiers, and then he adds up their numbers, and it comes to 24, and he runs that through the military database and concludes that the 24th letter in the alphabet is X, and therefore this must be related to Task Force X, meaning Suicide Squad. So he goes to check out Amanda Waller. He gets through all their security, which is pretty cool and Batman-like, but that's where the interest in that scene ends, and it turns out that something is being set up. Amanda Waller kind of blackmails Batman. And then it ends with the final confrontation with Gotham. And Batman, I guess, can't get there in time. And so he has Alfred, for some reason, drive across the city from the mansion, meet up with Gotham, dressed as Batman, distract Gotham for a couple minutes, and that's it. It doesn't really do much. It just amounts to him getting out of the Batmobile, running away, and then Batman shows up. What? Just get rid of that and have Batman be there. You've had him do way more unbelievable things than show up somewhere just as something's about to happen. Just get rid of that. That's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. I don't want to see Alfred. Why would that? I mean, I get Alfred loves Batman, but come on. Really? Really? And then in Volume 2, the whole Catwoman thing, there's hardly any dialogue with Batman, and instead you get this voiceover of Batman exchanging very flirty love letters with Catwoman, who's now in prison because she's killed like 230 people or something. And that's not what those characters are about. They don't write flirty love letters to each other. They don't, especially Catwoman. She supposedly killed 230 people. She's really dark, and I don't understand why Batman loves this character. I mean, I do in the context of all their past comics, but here it doesn't really work, especially she's killed 230 people. Batman's not going to be okay with that. And he's assembling his suicide squad, where he gets a bunch of criminals to come help him at Santa Prisca. One of them is the ventriloquist, who, I'm not hating on bigger people here, but he is not athletically inclined, but he climbs all over the place, does everything he's supposed to do without, so much as stopping to catch a breath. What? That is not a compelling use for this character. And he doesn't serve the story. And the character of Batman himself just doesn't seem to have any fun. He's not interesting. I understand he's a dark, tortured soul, but even as recently as Scott Snyder have been able to capture Batman enjoying what he does, particularly when he's kicking somebody's butt, and he kind of acknowledges that he's crazy, but you also get that he's determined. This guy just kind of seems to take everything, his Batman, as a burden, as kind of like a responsibility that he must do, and that's it, as opposed to even something like Frank Miller's Batman. You can tell he acknowledges that he's psychotic, but he still enjoys doing this. And this Batman, Tom King's Batman, does not enjoy anything. He doesn't smile, he doesn't have fun, and he's a dour character to read, and it's very uninteresting. And then the last thing I'm going to say about this new run at Batman is I am not a fan of the art. I do not think it flows. I do not think it comes to life like Greg Capullo's. This is just, it's not bad. It's definitely better than I could do, but it just doesn't come to life for me. But it just doesn't move. It just looks like it's a still. And here's a picture of Batman jumping, leaping into the air, and there's just no kinetic energy to it. It just kind of looks like somebody drew a picture of Batman in this pose. Unfortunately, guys, this run I've been pretty disappointed with. I'm reading similar things about Scott Snyder's All-Star Batman, which I'm a little nervous about, but I am looking forward to it. As long as it's better than this, I'll be happy. Because Batman, right now, unfortunately, coming off his best run in the New 52, is in a bit of a slump. Well, that's all I got for you guys. Leave me your thoughts. What did you guys think about Tom King's Batman? I know a lot of people like it, so let me know why. And if you don't, why not? Am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. Let me know. If you like this video, guys, click the thumbs up. Subscribe for my movie reviews, trailer reactions, Blu-ray unboxing, comic unboxings, more comic book reviews. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching. And he's kicking their butt. He's kicking their butt. And then Batman shows up, lays them into the ground literally, and then Batman doesn't even take them to the store. Store?